Hello everyone, welcome to this Odoo webinar on the partnership program. I'm James Edison here, business advisor in the partnership recruitment team working out of the Odoo Brussels office. What we'll speak about today is, like I said, the partnership program in the EMEA region. Just a couple of pinpoints before we start. You'll be able to send me all your questions a bit later on. Okay, we'll have about 20-25 minutes, give or take, of a bit of a presentation on the actual program, and then we'll go on to a Q&A. And also a little note, in the description of this webinar, you've got a link which will enable you to directly book a meeting with anyone in my team if you wish to have, let's say, a further meeting one-on-one with a business advisor at Odoo. So like I said, I am a business advisor working in the partnership recruitment team out of Brussels. And today we'll speak about the partnership program for the European, Middle Eastern and African regions. First of all, we will go through what Odoo is as a product and as a company. We'll go through Odoo's value proposition, the Odoo Enterprise business model, and we'll finish with the actual partnership program and its different benefits and advantages for partners. Obviously, first of all, what is Odoo? You all know that Odoo is an ERP vendor, but it was founded in 2005 by our current CEO, Fabien Pincars. Since then, we've grown quite exponentially with 6 offices around the world, as you can see, in San Francisco and New York for the States, Brussels, Grand Rosaire, where I'm at right now, and Luxembourg in Europe. And we also have an office in Gujarat, India, to take care of the Indian territory, and in Hong Kong to take care of these neighboring countries. A couple of numbers before we start. This is our CEO and founder, Mr. Fabien Pincars. Odoo now has over 3.7 million users worldwide, with over 1,000 installs per day from our website, odoo.com, and over just less than 1,500% growth in user growth in the past 4 years. Okay, we'll start a bit here by positioning Odoo on the current ERP market. What we see here on this graph is, I'm sure you've known the big players of the ERP market, the SAPs, the Oracles, the Microsoft Dynamics, NetSuite, and Sage. Obviously, these ERP vendors and these ERPs offer a very, very large business scope. They're very well thought products. But in terms of, let's say, usability and user friendliness, it's really not, let's say, the best out there, in the sense that it's simply not very intuitive. And for example, having a new employee in a company will take a very specific training program to get him used to this sort of ERP. They do have also a couple of disadvantages, such as pretty high cost would it be in terms of time for implementing, or an actual user cost, and very costly customizations also. What we see down right are the vertical applications, such as Zoho, such as Trello for project management, MailChimp for mail mass marketing, or for example Magento, PrestaShop for e-commerce. These softwares are absolutely great in their own very specific domain. Okay, like we said, PrestaShop and Magento for an e-commerce, for example, or Slack and Trello for project management. However good these pieces of software can be in their own specific domain, they will need to be integrated with other software that are used in the company to manage a whole business. So great usability, great user friendliness, but very limited, let's say, business scope and functionalities. Okay, what we aim to do here at Odoo is to position ourselves in between the two. So based on our modular way of working with all the apps that we offer, we do have a very large business scope. Okay, but we still try to be as user-friendly and as usable as possible. Okay, an Odoo solution, an Odoo database will not take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months to put in place. You will need to train the new users for ages and ages to use the solution. It's extremely intuitive. And so we're trying to combine the advantages of being an ERP with a very large business scope by also keeping all this very user-friendliness and usability. Okay. If used to manage your whole business, Odoo will definitely, let's say, give you far more less time loss in terms of implementation also. So here we also have at Odoo a very easily customizable product. okay? Because obviously different companies will have different flows to manage. While trying to stay in standard as most as possible, it's sometimes necessary to develop some specific features, connections, flows within a company. Very easy to do with Odoo. Here we'll have a bit of an overview of basically what we offer in terms of applications. We've got everything from sales to operations management to finance to human resources to marketing. Okay, we also offer a full suite of manufacturing applications. This way of modular, let's say modular way of working based on different applications will enable a structure to either manage the whole business with Odoo, or to try or to start slower with a couple of applications and therefore scale up for the solution, scale up when the actual business needs those extra applications. So if we take an example, you can easily start with CRM, sales and invoicing to manage your basic commercial flow, and in the future integrate all your accounting and all your expenses, for example, all your human resources operations also very easily. In terms of Odoo's benefits in general, we're looking at a very light infrastructure, and you only pay for what you need. So you won't pay for the full package if you don't need to. You can either start big, start slow, start small with a couple of applications if you prefer, and scale up just as your business grows. Very short implementation time in terms of timeline, obviously based on the actual project, on the actual scope of the implementation needed, but it is extremely friendly to use, and new users will not take weeks and months to get used to this solution. It's extremely customizable also via our Odoo Studio app, and for our potential partners, obviously you have access to the source code. That's a basic, but it's also very customizable. It's got seamless integration with every app. So if you take, for example, a classic commercial flow from the CRM, which is prospection, for example, of new business possibilities, up to the actual sale and invoicing, all these apps will be seamlessly integrated one another. You can go from CRM to sales to invoicing to accounting in a couple of clicks. Every sale you do will be recorded in your accounting, obviously. Here we have a couple of, let's say, references, clients using our solution for the moment. You can see that we are, let's say, present in the larger structures such as Danone, Hyundai, and Shell, but also in the small to medium-sized businesses and enterprises. Okay, Odoo here is really, let's say, scalable in the sense that, like we just explained, you can start slow and integrate other apps as soon as your business grows and you feel the need to have these other apps, or you can actually go for, let's say, a full scope project if you're a larger structure, and therefore define a longer implementation time in different phases. We'll now go through Odoo's actual value proposition. Okay, what makes Odoo the software that it is? What makes it attractive to actual businesses and customers? If we look at, let's say, the single-purpose softwares that are mostly used in companies nowadays, we're looking at MailChimp, at Slack, at HubSpot, at QuickBooks, and, for example, the good old Microsoft Excel that we still use sometimes. Like I said before, they are extremely good in their own domain, in their own specific sector, but if used to manage the whole business, you will need to build specific connectors between these applications, which A, takes a lot of time, and B, is very costly, as we all know. But most importantly, there will be, if you don't do these connectors, there will be a double entry of data and a huge loss of time. This is what here Odoo aims to solve as a problem. It's an all-in-one solution. Like I explained before, you will have your core apps that will be integrated one another, and you will simply use one software to log into to manage the whole of your business flow. Again, a couple of examples here. We've got the website that will be integrated with the e-commerce. The e-commerce will be integrated with your mass mailing to do your promotions. New prospects will come into your CRM, will be integrated with the sales you do, with the inventory, with the accounting. So the more, let's say, the complicated the flow, the more apps you'll need to manage it, but they will always be integrated one another. It's also an ERP for all types of businesses. If we're looking at the classic ERP vendors, they will not be, let's say, suitable for smaller businesses, whether it be in terms of costs, in terms of user friendliness, or in terms of actual functionalities. Here we've designed Odoo for individual users and small businesses to be very simple and efficient. This means that all the connected apps and features will enable constant upward evolution for all the users, and therefore deliver a powerful enterprise class software to companies of all sizes. Okay, if we look at the traditional ERP vendor model, they will most of the time be designed for larger structures with larger budgets and larger resources to dedicate to an ERP. If it's for a smaller business, it will be limited to a certain amount of functionalities where there will be quite a few hidden costs in terms that they will encourage upselling on extra applications that a small business might need. But the main, let's say, characteristic and the biggest advantage of Odoo is the integration. Okay, here we just took a couple of examples of Odoo's point of sale system, completely integrated with all the hardware of your point of sale and your different workstations. The e-commerce will be obviously linked to your Odoo website, and the sales will be integrated with the CRM, with the accounting, with the actual invoicing applications also. We also have developed integrations with other solutions, mostly delivery providers such as UPS, FedEx, and eBay. You'll be able to automate your delivery orders with your FedEx or UPS account, for example, based on weight, based on time, when it's needed to be delivered, based on all these different variables. It will be automatically integrated with your Odoo database. Let's have a quick look here at the Odoo Enterprise business model. Okay, first of all, it seemed important to us to describe the actual ecosystem of Odoo. Okay, on one part, we've got the customers. Obviously, the most important part of this ecosystem. They will finance the ecosystem, and they will also benefit from support by the editor and the eventual partner involved in the project. Then we've got our local network of partners. We've got around 855 partners worldwide for the moment. These partners will provide local services to the end customer. They will develop new modules if needed to the end customer also, and provide local support, whether it be for training, for actual support questions if an issue arises, or for the actual implementation of the solution. We've then got Odoo, the editor, who will establish the long-term vision and strategy of the product. Will develop the core product, obviously, our 45-50 core applications. They will assist their partners in the marketing and in the sales operations via the account manager, and will provide services for partners and customers such as bug fixing and migration from one version to another. Last but not least, we've got the Odoo community. Odoo was built on the open source model, and this community is still very important to us here in this day and age. They actively participate to the product's development on a daily basis, and will provide priceless feedback on the product and on the bugs that we might, let's say, issue for example, when we release a new version. Let's now have a look at the actual enterprise business model. So we've got Odoo here, the editor, who will, through a great value proposition, recruit our partners and make them pitch Odoo Enterprise. We will provide professional services, mostly via your account manager as a partner, directly from Odoo, and provide training. Okay, we'll go into this a bit later on, but we can provide technical, functional sales training if needed. Then the partner comes into play and will propose Odoo Enterprise to the end customer, and will provide all these partner services to the actual end customer. When we're talking about partner services, we're usually talking about, implementation, obviously, setting up the database, installing it, importing data, configuring everything, training the new users and the new employees of the company on this solution. Obviously, a lot of time also developing new modules, new connections, new features for businesses that require such developments, and obviously also classic support. If an issue arises, in this case, you will get in contact with your official partner, who will be the one to talk to when it comes to Odoo. When it comes to the pricing model, we wanted to have something quite uniform in terms of the different versions. And for the end customer, the licenses will be the end product. Let's say the total cost for the customer will be calculated on two variables with Odoo Enterprise. Number one will be the licenses. It will be calculated by the number of users, the number of applications, and the actual duration of the contract. Okay, so usually you pay per user, per month, and per application you need. And on top of this, you have to add the partner services that they will provide to the end customer, like we just spoke: development, training, support, implementation in general. Obviously, these costs are not regulated. They are set by the partner themselves, because we believe that our partners obviously have a better knowledge than us about the local market, the local requirements, the local tariffs of what they would charge. So we do give our partners quite a lot of freedom, in the sense that once the project is a go, they basically work the way they want to work with the customer, whether it be in terms of hours of billing, of services. We do really give a lot of freedom to our partners, because we believe they do know the local market and requirements better than us. For the partner itself, okay, what you guys are interested in, we are looking at 3 different commission plans. For example, we've got 10%, 15%, and 20% commission based on the annual license fee. These commissions will be paid on every project a new partner brings in. Just before the launch of Odoo V11, we had capped the minimal number of users for commission at 10 users, but we decided that it's a little unfair for partners that will target SMEs mostly with less than 10 employees to not get commissions on the new projects they bring in. So here we'll speak about the different commission levels and the partnership levels right at the end of the presentation, but it will go from 10, 15, and 20% based on the partner's performance. After this comes the service and implementation fees that the partners will decide themselves. And again, we will not touch a single cent of these extra revenues. This is where the partnership with partners becomes very, very interesting, is that on top of the commission model, we have this policy where the partners will keep 100% of the revenue generated by the services they provide. Again, because we like to give our partners the most freedom possible for them to actually work the way they want to work, and for them to really grow their business based on Odoo. Let's go now quickly have a quick drink, and then we'll go through the actual partnership presentation. Becoming a partner of Odoo has a lot of benefits. Okay, we'll go through them here quite quickly, and then we can get to them more in detail in the next couple of slides. And if you have some questions, again, feel free to wait until the end of the presentation, and I'll do my best to answer all your questions. So here, when you become a partner, you are guaranteed to be fully trained on the functional side of Odoo. You will have access to an e-learning platform, which is extremely complete and will give the sales and functional people in your company an extremely good functional knowledge of the solution, what it can do, which apps can accomplish which features, how to configure it, what kind of flows it can manage. It's a host of videos with some quizzes, with some explanations. They go really into detail about every application. You will also have access to our complete Odoo Enterprise source code to enable you to do the required developments by the customer, to a GitHub repository, and to the latest bug fixes. That's something that we put an emphasis on, because we will never charge any partner for any resolution of a bug. Okay, it's comprised in the partnership program. We engage ourselves to fix all the bugs that you may encounter. You then have a direct relationship with us via your account manager to escalate issues if needed. We'll go into the role of the account manager a bit later on in the presentation, because it is one of the key roles, key factors of a successful partnership program. You'll also be able to publish your references of successful Odoo stories directly on our website, next to your name on our website, to enhance your visibility and credibility as a partner. And you will follow a very transparent ranking system of ready, silver, and gold partnership, like we just spoke about with the commission plan. We'll get into detail about this partnership, about the partnership levels a bit later on in the webinar. Last but not least, you'll get access to training sessions, whether it be sales training session, functional training sessions, or purely technical training sessions. We do offer the possibility to follow those, and if needed, we will see a bit later on also how these are conducted. Let's go into details about these benefits. To me, one of the most important part of the partnership is the Odoo account manager. It's someone with whom you'll have a close relationship. Okay, they will be based out of Odoo in Brussels, and they will assist you with customer prospection, with sales and business strategies. They will help you review the current projects you've got in mind. They will be someone to help you do a good demonstration, speak maybe to a customer, think about the actual pain points of where you could do a very good demonstration for a customer. So it's really someone that will be an ally on a daily basis to win new Odoo projects, but also make sure that the Odoo projects that are already won and that are already implemented are still conducted in the right way. You'll also have access to Odoo.sh. That's the big novelty that was developed specifically for our partner network and that came out with the V11 a couple of weeks ago. Put simply, because it would require a webinar on its own because it's so complete, it's a cloud platform for partners to be able to host third-party apps. It will enable you to integrate directly with the GitHub repository. It'll also enable you to actually develop directly on the platform, have automated testing, automated logs. It's really something that you should have a look at if you're thinking of becoming a partner. We also have access, like we said, to technical resources to train our partners when needed on specific issues. For example, if we take an example, I'm a partner, I've got a customer that's got some very specific flows to manage in accounting, in manufacturing, or whatever the application. You can take one of our success packs and speak with a dedicated technical Odoo consultant about these issues. You will be able to do some code reviews, some code audits, performance reviews with you so that you're sure that you're working with an Odoo expert on an Odoo code review. You will also be able to create trial database for your customers, so they'll be able to test the Odoo platform out with your developments. You can extend those demo databases as long as the customer needs and at your free will. Another important part of the partnership is also the knowledge base. The knowledge base will be a set of documents and videos which will help new partners and existing partners on the way we see a project going, how to do a good demo, how to do a good presentation. What will also provide marketing tools, resources for you to eventually organize some roadshows, some events where you'd like to promote Odoo. And lastly, we've got the functional training, like we just spoke about, on the e-learning platform. Let's go into detail a bit more here about what you will get as a partner. Through your account manager, you will get qualified opportunities. Okay, when we say qualified, we mean that the account manager will have spoken to the potential customer about his project, about the type of company that requires Odoo, what flows needs to be managed, what eventually might be developed. So you will be transferred some projects that already have some sort of guidelines established by your account manager on what needs to be done for what type of company. Being a partner also means that you can participate and reach to all our other partners around the world. We do encourage collaboration between our partners, whether it be on the same country or overseas. You can speak about different strategies, how you market Odoo to a specific target audience, for example. If you know a partner has developed a specific module for a specific project and you need a bit of help on this, go ahead and contact them to see if you can work together on this issue. We, again, will speak about the partner commissions a bit later on in the webinar, a bit more in depth. But you'll also have access, like we just spoke, to marketing resources, okay? Comparison between different ERPs in white papers, product sheets, videos, webinars just like this one, and also customer stories and promotional events that you can organize in your respective countries. Last but not least, you'll obviously be listed as an official partner on Odoo.com. Okay, it's a website. Our website now gets a very large amount of hits a day. You'll be there with your official logo, with a bit of a description of your company, your bio, the customer references if you have some, and your official Odoo level, let's say ready, silver, and gold, and all the contact info needed to contact you on the website. So this can be seen maybe as a third, let's say, channel of sales. Potential customers will directly go into our partner page, see where they're based, see where our partners are based, and contact them directly. We'll go here quickly through the success packs. Okay, these packs of hours of 25, 50, 100 hours are packs of hours where you are assigned a dedicated Odoo technical consultant. Okay, different packs and different number of hours equate to different, let's say, requirements. It can go from functional and training support to help to prepare demos and to answer requests for informations, to more technical questions and issues with the standard and custom success packs. There you will really have some technical supports on your current projects and on future projects. You will have access to performance review, development coaching on specific flows, specific modules, or code review and performance audit with an Odoo expert. It's important to note that these packs are yours. If you buy one of these packs, the hours belong to you. There is no timeline in which you have to use them. They won't expire, so you can use them. You can buy them in the beginning when you start the partnership, for example, to make sure that you've got a quick access to someone, to an Odoo expert, to eventually answer any questions you may have. Or if you're working on a very specific and complicated project, for example, you get a 50, 100 hour pack so that you know you've got someone close by that can actually answer all the different questions you may have. Now let's get into details about the different partnership levels. Okay, like explained before, we've got three: Ready, Silver, and Gold, that will give you 10%, 15%, and 20% commissions based on your partnership level. It's important to say that these levels here are obtained through performance. Okay, we will not sell directly a gold or silver partnership to any company. We want to make sure it's transparent and that the customer who will go for a silver or gold partner knows that he's got someone who's actually implemented Odoo projects, who knows what he's doing in depth. Let's go to the Ready partner. Everyone, whatever the company, will start as an Odoo Ready partner. Okay, it will enable you to get started quickly with Odoo, benefit from the services we just spoke about, such as the functional training, support, marketing, and let's say a good collaboration from Odoo and the new partner to make sure you can actually grow your business, proposing Odoo enterprises to your customer, and to just test out the local market. Once you bring in 50 new users, and I emphasize on the term users, it's not new contracts. Once you get 50 new users on board, so it can be one contract of 50 users or 10 contracts of 5 users of smaller companies. Once you get to that level of users, you will be promoted to Silver, okay? Which means that you go from 10% to 15% commission. Once you now bring another extra 50 users on board and you get to 100 users, you will be promoted to the highest level of partnership, which is Gold. Gold partners have a very strategic relationship with Odoo. They've committed significant resources, whether it be material or human, to implementing Odoo in different companies. They've exceeded 100 new licenses and have published a successful customer case study on Odoo. They will benefit from the highest visibility in the Odoo ecosystem, will be placed higher on our partners page for the intended country, and will get 20% commission on the projects that they bring in. To finish this webinar, we can definitely say that Odoo as a company and as a product is definitely growing. With the launch of our new version now, we're getting more and more demand for leads, for demos, for information about our software. We now have over 855 partners worldwide, more than 1,000 installs and leads per day, with well over 3 million users around the world. So we are actively looking for new partners to be able to successfully implement and bring in new Odoo projects. Some regions are really booming. Specifically, I can take an example in the Middle East. We're actively looking for new partners in that region. It's quite a unique product with little to no competition out there that will enable you to grow your business, get a lot of extra revenue, and also participate in a quite unique process. Thank you all for listening to this presentation. I'll now quickly do, for the last half hour that we've got, a bit of a Q&A. We've received quite a few questions already, so I'll just check out what if when. If you have a question, don't hesitate to put them in the chatter, and I will answer them to the best of my knowledge. So I see here, for example, Mr. Coffee asking us that he is in Ivory Coast and if he can be an exclusive Odoo partner in the country. That is one thing we don't do, is exclusivity. We will not, in any case, give exclusive rights to a territory, whether it be a region, a city, a town, or a country, to a new partner. So unfortunately, no, that's not possible. We do have a couple of partners already in Ivory Coast, but we won't ever give exclusivity to our partners. Thank you, Seth. For people who've missed maybe the beginning of the presentation, I will. Here you've got my personal email and phone number, and you've also got a link that's in the description of the webinar where you'll be able to directly book a meeting with someone from my team. Okay, so that if you need information, if the process is still not very clear for you, don't hesitate to take a meeting with us. We'll be really happy to answer the questions you have and explain to you how to join our partnership network, whether it be in the short-term future or long-term future. I'm not sure what Mr. Mohammed means about currency revaluation. If you can give me a bit more, bit of a clear questions, I will maybe be able to answer you. We've got here a question regarding leads. Do we treat them at our level or through partners? There's both, basically. There is both. There will be a set of leads that will be transferred to partners through their partnership portal on our website. They've basically got a customer portal, customer account, where they will be able to see the different projects they've got in the pipeline, the different leads that were transferred to them, maybe their help desk ticket issues, and different information like this. So based on where the partner is geolocalized, there will be a set of leads that will be automatically transferred to him. So if now here I'm in Grand Rosières, close to Brussels, I've got a potential customer potential lead that has installed Odoo about, I don't know, 10, 15 miles away from me. There's a good chance that I will be assigned to this lead automatically. And then there is the actual opportunities transferred by the account manager. These ones will be already qualified, like explained before, and there it's the account manager who will transfer to the appropriate partners based on obviously the location where the partner and the customer is based, but also on the type of project. If we now have a project with, for example, 200 users, very large scope, a lot of development to be done, it won't be transferred to a brand new partner who hasn't implemented an Odoo project yet, obviously. A question from Carlos. How much is the training to become a partner? By this, I mean the training once you're a partner to be trained. There is different types of training available. Okay, we can have functional trainings, we can have technical trainings. So it's here, depending on what you require as a training, we will be able to provide it to you, I'm sure. We also do training, if I can say, à la carte, okay, custom training where someone tells us, I'd like to be trained specifically on development in Odoo accounting. We'll then provide someone who's got the knowledge to teach them this specific development. Coffee, to become a partner, you can simply send me an email to this address here, jel@odoo.com. I'll be happy to send you the required documents, and we'll have a chat about you become a partner. Good question here from Robert. Is all the customer installations hosted through our cloud solution, our SaaS solution, or can the partner provide on-premise for customers? Very good question. Why? Because it brings us to the two different versions of Odoo. Same product, but will basically be hosted in two different ways. Odoo Online is hosted on our SaaS, okay? We will take care of the setting up of the database. We can take care of the configuration, the customizations, the training of the end customer. This is really for companies that will not want to take care of their own database. So what they need is basically a browser, an active internet connection, and we take care of accessibility, of security, of backups. We take care of the whole, let's say, backend, the whole, let's say, hidden part of the database. The next The other version is the locally hosted version. This Odoo Enterprise locally hosted is always distributed through our network of partners. We never implement it ourselves. So obviously, the partners have two solutions. Either they, as a partner, have a cloud that they can host a database on for the end customer, or the customer simply wants to be in control of its own data, of its own server maintenance, of its own security and backups. In this case, it's installed on the customer's local server. Good question also here from Malek. Is there a certification to pass to become a partner? To become a partner, a ready partner, no. That's why we make it mandatory for the new partners to subscribe to our e-learning platform, because we want the partners to have all the tools in place to actually be able to train themselves. But if you want to be a certified partner, which is required for the gold level of partnership, then yes, we do have some functional certifications that you can pass. Once you obtain a certain score, the actual person who passed it will be labeled a certified Odoo consultant, if I can put it this way. For everyone asking how to actually become a partner, once again, either you send me an email to jel@odoo.com that you've got right here, or you can call me directly too at the phone number that's listed, or you can simply click the link that's on this slide here, or it's also in the description of the webinar. It will enable you to have access to our team's agenda and book a meeting with them so they can actually explain to you the whole process of becoming a partner. Again, yes, from Carlos, yes, the partner can put in place his own SaaS platform. That's not a problem. Yes, there are two different prices for the partnership entry fee. There are two different prices for the up and coming developing countries. One of our business advisors will be pleasurable to actually give them the different prices to you. So again, just click on the link or send me an email and we'll discuss that. Can we, as a partner, customize a hosted Odoo implementation, or is it only possible in on-premise installation? Another great question. You can do both, but there's an important, let's say, term difference in customizations or developments. With Odoo.sh, our brand new platform, you'll be able to basically customize and develop on both the SaaS and on the on-premise locally hosted solutions. Partners will have access to the source code for the on-premise locally hosted versions. When we host it through our SaaS platform, Odoo.sh makes a lot of sense. It's really something where you'll be able to take an application, for example, a third-party application, a connector, for example, between a third-party e-commerce and our inventory system, and very easily drag and drop it into Odoo.sh and make it compatible for the SaaS, which wasn't possible before. Before we were, since we hosted databases, we would simply obviously not give out the source code to partners, and their only possibility of customizing a SaaS solution was through Odoo Studio, which is absolutely brilliant in terms of needing to do some customizations without coding. If you don't know it, quickly, Odoo Studio enables you to modify all existing Odoo apps, create your own application, create automated actions or automated emails, create new fields, new views. It's really, really, really something to go into detail if you like customizing and programming in general. But now with Odoo.sh, customizing a SaaS platform became far more easier. Good question from Seth Brown here. Can an individual become a partner, or must it be a company? There is no restriction to individuals or companies. Obviously, 99.99% of our partners are companies, but an individual can definitely become a partner, benefit from the same services and advantages as any other partner. Obviously, if he's alone, he will most likely implement standard projects where there will be less customization, less development needed. But there is no real difference between, let's say, physical people partners and company partners. They benefit from the same advantages and let's say, treatment than the companies. Another question from Robert about the location of data centers when using Odoo Online. If I'm honest, I'm not going to give 100% certain answers since I'm not 100% sure, but I know that we've got a lot of databases hosted in France, in Germany. For the US, we will use obviously the US and Canada, and I'm quite sure there are a couple of other locations also, but we always make sure that the accessibility and the load time is as quick as possible. Since we're on the actual here, let's say load times and performance, good to note that the new Odoo V11 is extremely fast. That's something that the guys here at Conrosier have been working on. It's making it faster, more responsive, and we calculated it on average, it'll be three times faster as Odoo 10. Can a given customer move from a hosted to on-premise or vice versa at any given time? Yes, it's not a problem. However, if you want to go from an Odoo online database to an Odoo locally hosted database, we can do the migration. That's not a problem, but you'll have to wait to be on the same at the same version. Odoo Online will get smaller updates every 2 or 3 months with smaller, let's say, less radical updates, whereas the locally hosted version will be updated once a year, with the new release being launched usually early October, like we just did 2 weeks ago. So yes, it's a possibility, but always confer with either your account manager or your online account manager to see the actual timeline it might take, how long it might take, and really qualify that project very easily. Okay, I'm just browsing here for other questions that might not have been answered. Just checking here. Question from Paul here about a Kenyan, let's say, government stipulation that they have to use Datex FP300. This is typically something that one of our partners would develop for that local market. When I said that we knew the partners know the local market and requirements better than us, this is exactly what we were talking about. Partners will develop these kind of modules for their customers, okay? And this is where obviously there's also a possibility for them to maybe put that module on our app store and sell it worldwide to anyone who might need it. Jasmine here. In terms of SLAs, I'm unfortunately not the correct person to ask this question to. My technical knowledge about SLAs is not that big, so I prefer you can send me your complete question to jel@odoo.com. That's not a problem. I'll definitely transfer it to the correct people. But unfortunately, I won't be able to answer you, so I don't want to give you let's say an unprecise and uncoordinated answer. Just again to remind the people who just came here, we've got all my info is on this on the slide you can see. Don't hesitate to send your questions to me, and there's also a link in the description of the webinar for you guys to actually schedule half an hour meeting with someone from my team, a business advisor in partnership recruitment, who will be able to answer all your questions for sure. Just going to see if there are any questions that weren't answered. Yes, Mohammed Saiduddin. In case you've missed a part of the webinar, for example, if you want to see it again and share it with other people, it will be available to view later on. Okay, that's for sure. Just like all our webinar on our YouTube page. So feel free to browse and check out the different webinars. Good question from Pascal. I didn't mention this. In terms of partnership levels, so we took the example of, okay, I'm a silver partner, I've got 50 new licenses. Are they 50 new licenses per year or 50 active licenses in total? There will be 50 active licenses in total. Okay, partnership levels are reviewed quarterly, every quarter with your account manager to either bump you up to a certain level or to just have a bit of a chat of how the partnership is going and what projects you have in mind. So active licenses, there are some, let's say, retention requirements for the partnership, but these will be explained in detail by all the business advisors in the partnership team. Good question also from Jassim. Is it possible to be a partner without developers yet, just implementers? Yes, very possible, totally possible. We have some partners who will have a big team of developers, programmers behind to actually do the required developments. But we also have quite a lot of partners who will implement mostly standard projects. Okay, this means that the role of the partner will be the one of advice on how to work with Odoo, how to manage X type of flows, configure the database, install it, maybe import some existing data, and basically get it up and ready for the customer to use. He will also train the new users on the solution and act as a support platform for the customer. So definitely possible. In this case, you can use to do some customizations without developing. You can use Odoo Studio, which we spoke about a little earlier on, which will enable you to add fields, to add automations, to define different user access rights, create your own application without a single line of code. So for companies who don't have, let's say, the technical and human resources to do pure hardcore development, it's definitely an option to become a partner. You simply will look for more standard out-of-the-box project where development will simply not be needed, which happens also quite often. Malik, to obtain a certification, just drop me an email to jel@odoo.com and I'll explain to you the process to be a certified Odoo consultant. There it is. We just posted you the link to the certification link. Good question from Steve here. So you say, just to make sure I understand that, when you take over an implementation from an existing customer who's got 50 licenses, do you get credit for their growth or the existing licenses, or both? So this means that you would have either a customer with, for example, 50 licenses that either changed partner or decided to work with a partner if you didn't in the beginning. Here, the number of licenses will be counted once you actually enter the project. So if you've got 50 now, you enter the project as an official partner, and in the next 4 months he adds another 20, you'll be credited for the 20 new users you actually bring in. Okay, simply because it's really about the actual number of users the partner brings in himself. No, the Odoo Studio, question from Carlos, is Odoo Studio for the community version? No, it's not. It's for the online SaaS and for the enterprise version only. Paul, if you're, we're actively looking for partners in Kenya for the moment, so I'm really happy you joined the webinar. Simply drop me an email, and I'll explain to you the whole process to become a partner. Just a bit of a note here, if you have some purely technical or functional questions, we do provide live support, okay? It'll be on our website, odoo.com, top right. There's a live support button, just click on it, and you'll be able to ask your functional and technical questions to someone who will be really, let's say, able to answer you correctly. Question here from Andre. Is becoming a partner the only way to get Odoo Enterprise? Or is there perhaps a one-off fee, type of fee which you can buy and then have the ability of reselling Enterprise Edition? No, there's only when I seem to say when you mean to get Odoo Enterprise, I mean you want to get it to resell it. This is the only way. It's the partnership model. Okay, simply because we believe in a long-term relationship. We don't want to have partners that will just stay here for a year or for just one project. We really want to build a long-term relationship with these partners so that they can be as better as the experts that they already are. Great question from Robert. That was one point I wanted to speak with you about. I completely forgot. Thank you for reminding me. The invoicing model. Okay, so he asks, do we as a partner invoice the end customer, or does Odoo invoice us as a partner? The way it works is the following, and that's something we won't be able to move on. So, as a customer, I will be billed by Odoo directly for my licenses. Okay, so Odoo will send out a quote, an offer to the customer. The customer hopefully accepts it and pays its licenses directly to us. Based on this amount, we transfer the partner their commission, okay? And then the partner will then invoice the customer itself for all the different services he provides. There is no way that we simply can't, for example, invoice the partner for a batch of 100 licenses that he will then resell the way he sees fit. We will always be the ones who invoice the customers, and then the partners will be the ones who basically invoice all the rest. Okay, we only invoice the licenses. Once those are invoiced, our, let's say, direct implication in the project stops. The partner takes over, and then if needed, obviously we can, via the partner's account manager, re-enter the process, whether it be negotiation, whether it be help. But on paper, once the customer has paid his licenses, we invoice him directly, and the partner takes over. Mohammed, I'm not sure what you mean of performance of Odoo community if the amount of data is over 50,000 users. If it's on a database that's hosted by us directly, we'll make sure that the performance is top notch. If now, like you say, there is a database of over 50,000 users, we'll make sure they get a dedicated server to make sure that they've got the right access to it. Jassim, so you'd like to know if there's a ready installation package for Odoo on Azure and AWS. Is that right? I'm not sure I understand your question completely, to be honest. Just going to see if there are any questions that I might have not have answered. Again, if you feel I haven't answered one of your questions correctly or misunderstood it, drop me an email or take a meeting with one of my team members, and we'll be happy to answer the questions you may have. Okay, so it's now 5 to 4. We've got 5 minutes left. So if there are any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chatter. I'll definitely answer them. I think we've got time for maybe 2 more questions. But if you feel your question, like I said, was not well answered, or that you didn't grasp the complete answer, drop me an email and I'll make sure I'll answer it quickly. Jassim, I'll have to note this down. I'm really not sure, to be honest. It's installable on any other platform. That's for sure. Now, is there a one-click installation package? I'm not sure. You can drop me an email also with the detailed question. I'll transfer it to the correct people. But for the moment, I would say no. So anyone, if you've liked this webinar, if you feel you've got other people you know who might be interested in this partnership program, please like, comment, share, post it on all the different social networks. We all know how it works. We'll be thrilled to expand our presence left and right. So, like I said, if you've got people who are willing to know more about either Odoo itself or the partnership program, give them a link to our webinar page and share it to your entourage. Malek, if you are partners, you have an account manager. So this is typically the type of questions that you can ask him. But if you need help as a partner to move from Odoo 9 to Odoo 11, we can definitely give you help on that. Again, it's typically one of the things that your account manager will be able to detail in detail is the whole procedure, the timeline. So if you are a partner, contact your account manager to discuss this. If not, drop me an email and we'll have a discussion about it. Does Odoo sell technical training videos? We won't sell technical training videos. No, we sell the functional training videos, which will enable you to have a good functional knowledge of the solution, what every app can do, how to configure it, what different flows it can manage. But for purely technical training, we prefer to do this on site, face to face. It can be in India, it can be in our Brussels office, or if the partner can't, for a reason or another, move, we can either send someone, or we can do this also by video conference. It's not a problem, but we prefer to do it face to face in our Indian or Brussels office for the technical training. Abu Mohammed, this is typically a question that you can ask to our live support team. I really couldn't answer you since it's a bit too technical for me. I wouldn't be able to answer you. Paul, I'm not sure what you mean by Odoo device box. If you mean the POS box, the POS box that we sell on our website, it's the box that will enable you to connect all the different hardware, the barcode printer, the barcode scanner, the printer, the cash drawer to your actual point of sale application. Okay. If you mean something else by device box, simply clarify it to me and I'll try and answer. Abderrahman, you can send me an email to the email you've got here, and I'll be happy to explain to you the different procedures to become an official Odoo partner. We've still got time for one question, so if anyone's got a question, I will definitely answer it. But again, if not, you've got my email right here, my personal phone number, and the link to schedule a meeting with my team members, my teammates, so that they'll be able to actually answer you. Honestly, the technical certification, I need to confirm this. Chris, I'll note it down and I'll get back to you. Please just, like I said, send me an email, so that, because I obviously don't have your contact info here. Send me an email with the required information, and I'll make sure I answer you. Last question here. No, unfortunately, we don't have time for this. Okay, then we've got time for one more. Can we rebrand Odoo? There is possibilities of white labeling, but it's a big but. There will always have to be a mention of Odoo somewhere on your project. Most of the time, it will be powered by Odoo somewhere in the bottom of the app or the connector or whatever. But you can't completely rebrand Odoo. So complete white labeling is a no, but there is some possibilities, obviously, to change the layout, and but always leave a powered by Odoo in that's visible to people. Unfortunately, here the webinar is ending. We arrived at the end of the scheduled hour. For any questions that are still unanswered, half answered, or incorrectly answered, just send me an email or click the link in the description of the webinar, and my team and I will make sure we answer you quickly and provide you good answers. Thank you all for watching this webinar. I hope you liked it. If you have any feedback to give or anything else, drop me an email and I'll make sure I'll take it into account. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.